Just kind of thumb through all that shit. Fuck it, I don't even fucking...
Yeah, we're just gonna go straight into it now, it's fun.
I'm Optimus Prime, I'm just gonna use my fist, you know that?
I'm going back to my cryo swords, because as powerful as the cryo axe is, I just like the dual wielding.
Well, the swords, I think, are better. They're just quicker.
Now, I'm not going to blame my tools for doing so poorly against the second round of Devastator, but I probably would have been in a better flow had I been using my traditional weapon set. Oh my god, there's a defend wheeljack thing at the end of this chapter, isn't there?
No.
No, I don't think it's at the end of this chapter. I think it's at, like, chapter 4?
It's chapter 4,
5?
and there's one in chapter 6.
Yep, there's 2 of them.
Those aren't... You know what? It's I didn't like those either, but they weren't as awful as they could have been, because I fully expected a complete bullshit escort protect wheeljack mission. But it's actually... They're a lot more reasonable with it, and I think that's Activision going, whoa, hey, that's a bit too challenging. Could you make it so they can win?
Motherfucker! These fucking arms coming out of fucking nowhere!
Tom, have you had it with these motherfucking arms in this motherfucking city?
Richie, get out!
Now, they are talking about the Proud Star, and I'm not going to say too much about it just yet, but they're actually referencing stuff from the IDW Transformer comics, which I believe they're still running at the time. They're doing this storyline where, due to a series of events, Megatron has actually become an Autobot, I heard. Yeah, because of things that happened, ultimately Megatron and Optimus decided to bury the hatchet, so to speak, and work together to take care of a greater threat. And at the moment, Megatron is, again, supposedly an Autobot, but you'll notice they're talking about, like, the Proud Star. They'll talk about some other things. That tends to take more from the IDW comics kind of thing. This game is kind of like a mishmash of a lot of stuff together in its own way.
Okay, so explain the mission. What are we doing now, exactly?
We are trying to find a drone with key codes that we need to get into the Proud Star, because Megatron turned on, like, the security for that. No, you gotta kill these guys first.
Nope.
And if you tilt which direction your control stick is in when you do a vehicle attack, he'll actually go different directions. Like, he just went up back there. You can make him swing around and hit multiple enemies around him, things like that. I haven't tried going back, though. I don't think that does anything, though.
Not entirely sure if that hit anyone, but it don't matter. Okay, Optimus, not really sure where you were going there, mate. Get out.
That building could be a Decepticon. Just covering my bases.
Yes. What's that actually say on there?
There is a lot of little nods I like to the series. Like, there's Sparks plugs, you know, from Sparkplug. There's just, like, a few references here and there. I can't catch them all, because, again, I don't know everything about G1 Transformers, but they're definitely there.
I'm getting a lot of energy drops for my weapon here, which is definitely good, because this thing packs a massive wallop. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, slow it down.
Oh my good god.
Oh. And that's why he's the leader of the Autobots.
Shut up! Just trying to play video games over here. Oh, well, as long as you guys enjoy my incompetence. The thing is, like, even though I'm just gonna jump over this thing. Even though I'm not very good at, like, playing live, I just kind of want to sometimes, if just to shake off the tedium of, like, post-comms.
Well, I mean, yeah, sometimes, I mean, particularly in, I suppose, games like this, it's fun to have the change of pace, because things can change so quickly that it's nice to have the surprise. Although, that said, I really don't like this mission.
Well, it's not too bad. I mean, if you can just shoot the bombs that are hanging in the air, or if you can just zoom over and, you know, just kind of melee him to death. It's easy with upgraded weapons.
Yeah.
I'm literally using Megatron's weapon.
He's going to be a little bit angry about that.
Yeah, probably. Well,
Prime! I notice you're copying my style. I can't do a Megatron, obviously.
Well, I'm sorry, Megatron, but it's mine now. That's my best Peter Cullen. One shall stand, one shall fall.
Megatron, do you remember the time you pretended to be me as a tank, but you had a gimmick that changed my head for yours? I don't remember that very well, Prime.
Helldragon as all the Transformers.
I wish I did. There's some cool ones out there I'm still thinking about getting down the line. I gotta say, I'm not a huge fan of the G1 Insecticons, but this game really changed my mind, and now I was actually thinking about getting some of the more modern Insecticons they have available, especially the tiny ones, because I like the tiny Transformers.
Uh-huh.
It only features 3 of them in this game, though. Kickback, the other 2, which I don't remember, and I know there's like at least 3 other unique ones. Bombshell is one of them that they feature in this game.
Oh,
I think
Jesus.
one of them's Elite. We'll probably get the title card for it eventually, but I'm pretty sure there is one of them called Elite.
Are you sure that's not just its rank?
Oh, Shrapnel, that's who it is, okay.
Ah.
I like I said, I think there are 3 others.
Man, this gun kicks ass.
It is doing the business pretty well, and again, the upgraded stats really help.
Do, get out.
Why did you waste the punch of kill everything?
Because it
on
feels
this
good.
fight? Alright.
There. I spanked him so I don't have to... I'm not even going to finish that.
Finally enter the Proud Star.
Oh, I can't wait to do this.
Pick up that shiny. Pick up that shiny. There, thank you.
I'm doing everything, don't worry. I was wondering when we were going to get to the backseat gaming stuff. Chapter 2, so it seems.
Tom, go in the door! God damn it!
What? Drive the other way? You got it.
Just be glad I'm not behind you in real life screaming, dodge, alright?
How did you and Smoothers get along when he was recording footage for his new review?
I let him do most of the work.
I love that clip of like you two like playing a special stage in Sonic 2, and he like misses the goal by like 1 ring, and you're in the background like dying.
It was bullshit. Like that was really bullshit.
Talk to me about Nova Prime. What's his deal?
Nova Prime is an IDW creation. He was a predecessor who basically went out to find and explore other worlds, which I believe they want to reformat in order to create a new Cybertron. But something happened along the way. Something that's not that good. But we will learn more about that as we go.
I could just listen to Peter Cullen talk all day, Earl.
That's true. Beyond Optimus Prime and Eeyore, he was Eeyore in Disney media before they replaced him for some reason. I don't know. I don't know what else he did. Like, mostly I think he was active in, like, the 80s, when he was doing, he was also some other, Autobots. He was Ironhide, in particular. In the Dungeons & Dragons cartoon, he was also Venger, of all people, which was interesting.
And Acrobat.
No, that was Dungeon Master, but it's like, only really recently has he been kind of put back in the spotlight doing all of the Optimus Prime voice work again, and I love that. Like,
yeah.
I love that he's back as Prime, but I'm not really sure what he was doing in the meantime. I guess he was kind of relying on the Eeyore job to pay his bills.
Well, there's like a resurgence of like nostalgia stuff nowadays, specifically for 80s and 90s stuff.
Yeah,
And,
just as long as you're not a Gem fan.
Oof. Okay, that's 2 gem slights in one playthrough. Can we go for a third?
We can. I'll have to find it.
Richie, I haven't actually asked, what was your introduction to the Transformers series?
I honestly really don't know. Like, I think I've always had the cultural awareness of the Transformers as being a thing and liking the idea, but I was never really into them as a kid. So I suppose, like, the first real example of my introduction to the Transformers series was the 2007 film, which is a really bad thing to get introduced on. And then obviously I kind of was just like, yeah, this is kind of because it's a Michael Bay film, Michael Bay action film.
Are these doors meant to be as annoying to get through as, like, the trouble I had in my first run?
Yeah. I was kind of I kind of struggle with these doors too. Sometimes I admit, like especially in the heat of battle. You know, what I like to do is I just like to kind of jump through them and then do like a dodge roll through it. You know, with the one other complaint I do have about this game is that the dodge button and the transform button are on the same thing. Like they're on R2 both, and at first I got really mixed up with that kind of thing.
Yeah, I have to say, I found it quite frustrating as well. I mean, the thing is that I spent, I think, the first half of the game playing with Type A controls, which is, on the Xbox controller, is it puts the dodge on the right bumper and puts the gun stuff on the triggers. So that was weird to me, because I was just like, this is not Bayonetta controls, but Type B is Bayonetta controls, so the dodge is on the right trigger, which is much more comfortable. But, yeah, I don't know, the dodge always felt to me a little bit sticky. That's probably the best way I can describe it. Like, it might be just the way in which the enemies attack is it's slightly slower than you expect it to be. So you can quite frequently dodge before you should dodge. But, yeah, it's a bit finicky.
Yes, Soundwave!
Oh, he's happy. He's a happy man.
Dude. $60 worth it just for this bit of music alone.
Yeah, you're like a real big fan of this theme.
I'm going after his Pokemon first. Fuck off, Ravage.
I love the Soundwave fights in this game because I love how they do it in this arena with all these multi-moving pillars, and because of his sound abilities, he can actually make them kind of go up and down, kind of like, you know, an oscillating, whatever that fucking meter is on a music device.
A metronome?
You know what? No. It's like, it indicates how high or how low the volume is, and it fluctuates with, like, the different sound channels. Well, whatever. Point is, it's a really cool way to make a really cool Soundwave fight, I think. And they did a really great job. Kind of better than what they did in the Cybertron games, I gotta admit.
I can't even remember the fight with Soundwave in the... It's made by High Moon, those two games, right?
Yes.
I believe so, yeah.
Of course, it's not going to be the final fight with him. Not yet.
Soundwave, I need you here. Stop getting hit like a bitch.
Understood.
Always the coward, Soundwave.
Well, when Optimus has the power of the Fist of the North Star, I'd be a coward too.
Yeah, Optimus has given it all this. He's given it all this. And then, well, you know, the rapid fire move. I can't pull it off at a whim. And he's like, stop getting punched in the face. What are you, a coward? Well, I'm sorry. I enjoy having the ability to speak.
Yeah, Optimus is surprisingly a huge dick in this game.
Oh god, there's a bit that comes later on. I'll point it out when we get to it, and it's just like, Jesus Christ, Optimus, what the hell happened to you? You're saying things like you apparently did in one of the most recent Transformers films, that it just seems really out of character.
I think I know which part you're talking about, and well, I'll point it out too when we get to there.
Fuck off. Starscream is such an egomaniac, Jesus. It's just me summarizing his whole character.
Yeah, the Transformer characters aren't exactly complex, but they're still memorable in their own way.
I mean, I think that's probably a decent way of describing the entirety of this game's plot in a nutshell, is that kind of like, it's not really necessarily unique, but it's certainly serviceable and enjoyable, and that follows through with all the characters as well.
It's robots punching other robots, or as Orson Welles would describe it, toys beating up other toys.
Yeah, that's sort of all you need. A lot of people I mentioned it's kind of like an extended 3-parter G1 episode, and I can totally see that. But the payoff at the end, I don't know how to feel about that, but I'll talk more about that when we get to that point. But other than that, yeah, you really don't need a complex story for this kind of game. It's serviceable enough.
But I'm really not good at dealing with attacks that come from, like, off-screen.
You do get a little arrow indicator indicating if an attack is coming your way, but it's not the most reliable method of detecting it, I admit.
I don't quite know what's happened with respect to that in terms of Platinum. Like, they seem to have started edging towards attacks that come from off-screen that are very difficult to dodge, because you can't obviously see that they're coming. And I don't think the sound cues in this game are necessarily the best Platinum have ever done. So it gets kind of dodgy, and it's certainly not the best way to do gameplay, because I think Don-san, who works at Platinum, who did the enemy AI for Bayonetta, was really adamant about the fact that you always need to make sure that there is a cue for the player to hear/see to let them know that an enemy is attacking, so that you can then make your decision as to whether you are able to dodge or counterattack. And you can see, even though it's kind of difficult to necessarily always see in the original Bayonetta, it's certainly much more well done than I think has been done in pretty much every Platinum game since. Just because you can tell when an enemy is going into its attack animation and you have time to react, but it goes quick enough that it's still thrilling. Whereas I say in most of the other games since then, you get enemies that do manage to attack you from off screen, which isn't really fair, because you can't always tell that it's coming. Then you have obviously the enemies which are just slightly off-timed in terms of how their attacks work, and that can get frustrating.
Yeah, I agree with that. I do think the sometimes the attacks coming in from off screen in this game being hard to detect, it is kind of bullshit in that regard. It gets really there you go, good enough. Yeah, just a minimal pass. That's an Optimus Minimal. That's his name. Oh, actually, good use of the punch here because you're actually kind of surrounded at this point, but I do have to agree in the fact that, you know, having some of the enemies just kind of that vague indicator off screen, like when you see them, they do that big flash that lets you know when to dodge, but you don't always get that off screen. If there was more of an off screen flash of an attack coming your way, I think that would have worked a lot better.
Well, I mean, even just like a reasonably loud sound cue, because like it is possible to do that, and I mean, in Bayonetta, the prime example I could think of enemies that do that are the ranged enemies. Like, you hear a trumpet before they're about to fire, and as long as you kind of fought the enemy before, you can recognise that sound and think, right, I've got like a second or two before I need to dodge that attack.
Tom, you don't have to drive through that, just jump through the hole and then do a dodge roll as you're going through.
Okay. There we go.
See, that's not so hard.
This is why he's backseat gaming.
That's why you have the recording equipment and not me.
Uh-huh.
Although I really would have seriously thought about doing this as like a live thing. You know, if I had the tools for that, because I've played like the hell out of this game, like I said, so I think I could have been able to do a pretty good run for the channel, actually.
Get out.
Now, I think this might actually be a mission that you can end slightly early. I don't know whether that is 100% true, but I think you can just leave this area and head to where you're supposed to and just end the mission. Because I think they do tell you you need to go because you can't face down that many enemies, but of course you can bloody face down that many enemies.
You're Optimus fucking Prime.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm a little bit off my game now, I apologise. I started strong, but I always peak, like, instantly.
I peak fast too, and then everybody's disappointed afterwards.
Just had to make it weird, didn't you? I think, yes, I have a spinning move. That's almost like it works in Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions, actually.
Yeah, you rotated the stick really fast in the circle and you press triangle, hits enemies around you. It can be good to kind of knock them back a little bit so you can refocus on another enemy. These turret sections are really easy, by the way. There's a challenge that you can like SS rank every time because they're so simple.
Yeah, just hold down the trigger, use the right stick.
Hit the red ones, hit the electricity balls they send out to do more damage to the surrounding guys. Really simple stuff.
Yeah, also, this is the bit that I was talking about, because Optimus is just like, keep coming, I'll keep shooting you down, and it's just like, jeez, Optimus, chill, dude.
That's not the part I was thinking of. We'll talk about that when we get to that point. I don't know if we'll get to it in this session, but we'll see.
Yeah, we're just like playing for straight couple of hours, and then just like cutting it up for YouTube.
Man, he's so happy. At long last, I get to enjoy the killing for once.
Take this, Megatron.
I'm going to give you such a noogie. What are you doing, Prime? I'm giving you a noogie right now. Not on my bucket head.
Well, you're much better at Megatron than you are at Optimus, I gotta say.
I think I would make an okay Starscream if I, if I worked at it a little bit.
God, there's a lot of these guys.
Yes, there are. Jesus.
Star Fox, eat your heart out.
S-rank, baby.
Seems I made it. Somehow.
They stopped coming, almost like it's nearing the end of the chapter.
Here comes their mama, though. Mama, so to speak.
Oh. Whoa. Whoa, it's the thing that we've already seen!
But he's bigger now, thus different.
Okay.
It appears the plasma energy is increasing the Insecticon strength.
No.
Sonic Meat Knuckles.
Nice. It's really cool how this big guy actually staggers, because there's one Decepticon later on who doesn't.
Oh my.
Oh yeah,
goodness.
I know the fight you're talking about. That actually makes him kind of interesting to play, yeah. Now you're doing pretty good on this. Like my first run through, I had some trouble with this guy.
Whoa.
Well, yeah, this is the camera starting to act up, admittedly.
Roll away. Whoa, SS?
Oh wow.
What? Fuck you.
I didn't even... I didn't even realise there was such a rank.
Jeez, evidently there is. Now, well, I suppose that does make sense because SS would be pure platinum.
Yeah, true.
Also, that achievement is for completing that fight without getting damaged at all.
Oh, yeah.
There are actually quite a few achievements like that. I think pretty much all of the the main boss fights, there is a secret achievement for beating them without taking damage. Although that said, the majority of them, bar that one, are all on difficulty Commander or greater, so good luck with that.
Yeah.
Commander's not too bad, it's Magnus that was giving me the most trouble.
So, Helldragon, tell me about the Insecticons. They just seem like junk bots, really.
I don't know a lot about the Insecticons. Fortunately for you, I have the TF Wiki here.
Because I'm just thinking of Beetleborgs, really.
The TF Wiki is probably the best wiki because every picture caption is super snarky. I love it.
Yeah, that kind of got on my nerves after a while. Because usually I'm just there to, like, have information. I'll make the comedy myself, thank you very much.
Now, it's basically saying here from G1, the Insecticons were just basically a subspecies of Decepticons, but I think with the IDW origins, you know, you get the idea where they're more like brainless, you know, hordes of these kind of guys. Okay, they do have some of the other Decepticons. You get ones like Chop Shop, Ransack, Buzzclaw, Dirge. So you do have a variety of them, so to speak.
Ah, it's all over me. Okay, I did not win that game of chicken. It's cool.
Don't worry, he's nearly dead anyway.
Any game of chicken you can walk away from, you win, technically.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
I love how his trailer comes in for his special attack.
Yeah.
Now, something I think is probably prudent to bring up, seeing as we haven't mentioned it, is that you can actually pause the results screen.
Yeah.
So if you push in the left analog stick, you can leave that thing up for a bit longer. Obviously, you have to push it in to get rid of it again. But if you are struggling to see everything that's there and want to know all the information, then there is a way of doing that. And I think that's probably one of the best touches that they have tried to add to the Platinum action formula for this game, because it is actually a really nice little addition.
Take it carefully.
I'm taking it carefully.
You'll have to really jump to that. There you go.
I got it.
Oh, it's this bit right here.
Yes, I remember this one. Oh, platforming in a Transformers game?
Now, this guy here, this Teletran Alpha, he'll basically tell the future of whoever you're playing as. This very much indicates, you know, even in this reimagining, so to speak, the Transformers movie, the 1986 one, is still canon. So Wheeljack is a dead motherfucker.
Oh, damn.
Friends will be safe. That is all I could ever
He is not happy about that. He's just like, oh, I don't believe that. I think Megatron kills him. I'm trying to remember. Let me look that up.
And Richie's just sitting there going, oh, I haven't watched this thing about cartoon trucks beating on, like, Lamborghinis or whatever.
Well, no, I'm mostly thinking of hating this particular section of the platforming, because it's just like platforms that appear and then disappear, and it's not quite that good at letting you know where you're going to land. I think, if anything, it's probably Sonic Unleashed syndrome, is that there's not really a proper drop shadow. So, and also because the Transformers are slightly floaty whilst they're in the air, it's very easy to jump, land maybe just the bit where it starts sloping, and then you slide off. And that's just like, really? Oh.
I got tricked by the ones that you have to, like, jump up to. I think they ended up pushing me off.
Thankfully I didn't get tricked by those guys, but I did kind of just fall off in terms of failing to platform properly.
Well, we're past it now, it's in the past. Alright, I like those odds.
Yeah, don't cock this up.
Plasma Core. Megatron.
Delicious grilled cheese sandwich.
Whoa. Behind you? Oh, no, above you. Oh, this music. I'm just going to say this for every piece of music on the soundtrack, really.
Yeah, he's just gonna have a gasp and go, oh, this one.
Whoa, okay, he's really fucking fast.
Yeah, you gotta watch out for kickback, man. A lot of the enemies in this game had this weird shuffle they do to kind of approach. Also, I do love how some of the G1 transformations come into play for their alternate modes. Like, Kickbacks is just, he's lying on his back, basically, but he has other legs that stick out to make his insect legs. Admittedly pretty silly, but... And also, his antenna, his head is just his insect head laying down, basically.
Oh, come on, bring your friends in.
Awaken my Megatron?
Let's do this.
Hold on, I have to. I like how you called the transformation that Kickback does silly, considering, you know, we're talking over a video game about giant transforming robots beating up other giant transforming robots.
I know that, Richie, but at least when the toys advance later on, they up their game a little bit. I could forgive the transformations in the 80s toys because they were die-cast and clunky as shit. But when they invented ball joints and brought that medium to Transformers, I think the toys really significantly improved. I don't collect them anymore. Just saying. I still have some, but I don't collect them anymore.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that when you get older, you reach a point where collecting certain things just doesn't have quite the same charm as it did when you were younger.
That's true. Like, I'm somebody who likes having things I can use, and I like the little toys, like I said, but I haven't really found like a use for them. They just kind of stand around doing nothing.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's sort of like Pokemon cards. I think are a prime example of things that most people, I think, of our generation anyway, collected when they were younger, but probably don't go anywhere near now. And I mean, like, I used to collect dragon figurines, or like little statues. But...
Nerd!
What? I can't help it. I like dragons. It's why I'm.
Richie, did you have any shirts with like flames along the bottom? Because that kind of seems like your thing.
I don't think I ever did. No, thankfully.
Oh, that was kind of tough.
Well, that's what happens when you face down 3 giant ancient Insecticons.
It only gets crazier from there.
Yeah.
Now I should point out that I think this is actually another instance of a fight that you can end earlier than a few people probably would have done, because as long as you keep attacking the crystal shielding and actually destroy it, you don't have to even bother with the few enemies that have appeared behind you, because they generally will never get close enough to you. to be able to do anything.
I think that's what I actually did before.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to destroy the shielding, and the enemies really don't bother you unless you get on, like, you know, the higher difficulties. See, there you go. That was a mission.
Optimus, maybe you shouldn't have done that. Ah, damn it.
What are you, an inventor?
I should be mad, but I'm saying this in so many other bits of media that I don't really care at this point.
Try to retrieve the plasma core before we find it. Our victory here will not matter.
I say I'm really glad Optimus has a faceplate. I've always been bugged by robots with mouths, admittedly. I just like the whole faceplate kind of thing. It makes it look like more like a knight.
Was it Transformers Animated where he had the mouth?
No, when they started doing that in the movie, because obviously he wasn't relatable being a giant robot.
Okay.
And then that's kind of a trend they had going forward. I have always hated Optimus having a mouth. I think it looks like shit. The only one that's okay with is Primal, because he actually had a mouth to begin with, so that's fine.
Alright, let's move on.